The MIND diet is designed to prevent dementia and loss of brain function as you age. So it's unique in that it's an eating pattern that focuses specifically on brain health. Now in this video, I'm looking at what you need to know and whether you should try it. MIND stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Now, this diet aims to reduce dementia and the decline in brain health that often occurs as people get older. It combines aspects of two very popular diets, the Mediterranean diet and the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension diet, or the DASH diet. Now, research has shown these diets can lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and several other diseases. So researchers wanted to create a diet that specifically targeted improving brain function and also preventing dementia. To do this, they basically combined foods from the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet that had been shown or linked to benefits in brain health. For example, both the Mediterranean and DASH diets recommend eating a lot of fruit. Now, fruit intake has not been correlated with improved brain function itself, but eating berries has. Thus, the MIND diet encourages its followers to eat berries, but doesn't emphasize consuming fruit in general. Currently, there are no real set guidelines for following the MIND diet. You simply try to eat more of the 10 foods that it encourages and try to eat fewer of the 5 foods that are discouraged. 10 foods to eat on the MIND diet. Here are the 10 foods the MIND diet encourages. Green leafy vegetables, so aim for 6 or more servings per week. All other vegetables, try to eat another vegetable in addition to the green leafy vegetables at least once a day. Berries, they encourage to eat berries at least twice a week. Nuts, try to get 5 servings of nuts or more each week, though they don't specify what nuts. Olive oil, so use olive oil as your main cooking oil. Whole grains, aim for at least 3 servings daily. Choose whole grains like oatmeal or quinoa or brown rice or whole wheat pasta or 100% whole wheat bread or rye bread. Fish, eat fish at least once a week. It's best to choose fatty fish varieties. Beans, so including beans, that is like legumes, in at least 4 meals every week. Poultry, so try to eat chicken or turkey at least twice a week. Note that fried chicken is definitely not encouraged on the MIND diet. And lastly, wine. So aim for 1 glass daily. Red wine has a compound, resveratrol, which may help protect against Alzheimer's disease. So red wine is the one you should go for. If you are unable to consume the targeted amount of servings, don't quit the MIND diet altogether. Research has shown that following the MIND diet, even a moderate amount is associated with a reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. And of course, when you're following the diet, you can eat more than just these 10 foods. However, the more you stick to the diet, the better your results are said to be. 5 foods to avoid on the MIND diet. The MIND diet recommends limiting the following 5 foods. Butter and margarine, so try to eat less than 1 tablespoon or about 14 grams each day. Cheese, the MIND diet recommends limiting your cheese consumption to less than once per week. Red meat, so aim for no more than 3 servings each week. This includes all beef, pork, lamb, and products made from these meats. Fried food. The MIND diet highly discourages fried food, so limit your consumption to less than once per week. Like I said, fried chicken doesn't count as chicken, it counts as fried food. Pastries and sweets. So try to limit these to no more than 4 times per week. This includes most of the processed junk food and desserts you can think of, like ice cream, cookies, brownies, donuts, candy, etc. Researchers encourage limiting your consumption of these foods, namely because they contain trans fats and saturated fats. Trans fats are definitely really bad for you. The health effects of saturated fats, though, are still widely debated in the nutrition world. Research is far from conclusive, but animal research and observational studies in humans do indicate that consuming saturated fats in excess, or at least in the context of excess calories, is associated with poor brain health. Research on the MIND diet and brain health. The MIND diet hasn't actually been around very long. The first official paper was published in 2015. So it's no surprise that there's not actually that much research investigating its effects. However, 2 observational studies on the MIND diet have shown very promising results. In this study of 923 older adults, people who followed the MIND diet the closest had a 53% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease than people who followed it the least. Interestingly, people who followed the MIND diet only a moderate amount still seemed to benefit from it and cut their risk of Alzheimer's disease by 35% on average. The second study found that people who followed the MIND diet the closest experienced a slower decline in brain function compared to people who followed the diet the least. However, note that both these studies were observationals, meaning they can't prove cause and effect. They can only detect an association. In other words, while the research is promising, we can't say for sure that the MIND diet caused the reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease or the slower decline in brain function. I'm definitely looking forward to some clinical trials in the near future, which are apparently going ahead. For now though, if you are looking for an eating pattern that focuses on maintaining your brain health as you age, then the MIND diet certainly appears to be a healthy approach and pretty simple to follow. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Don't forget to subscribe to Healthline's Authority Nutrition YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button below this video.